In my previous video, I talked about the trick to make 5 times more than a fund manager, and I asked you guys to give me a thumbs up emoji in the comment box if you want more such content. For those who missed that video, click on the link here to check it out. And for those who gave me the thumbs up, have you ever thought how your stocks give you that 5 times return in the first place? I mean, obviously that's because the share price goes up, but what drives the share price?
There's something inside you.
Sometimes it could be the market expecting the company to venture into a new business, or it could be that the company found a new way of selling their products. Essentially, all these catalysts mean one thing: growth. In the past, I missed out a lot of opportunities because I couldn't appreciate growth. I remember one time when I was still a young chap in investment banking.
Look at him. You notice anything different about him? Look at his face.
That's pretty racist.
I attended a meeting. It was a property company, and at some point in the meeting, the presenter was telling us about a new way of construction where instead of building houses on site the conventional way, most parts of the building will be fabricated in a factory. Those parts will be transported to a site and assembled like a Lego block. It's a kind of revolutionary construction method that is increasingly becoming popular these days. If you bought the house recently and the developer tells you you can't drill holes on your walls, chances are your house is built with this method. But when I first heard about it, it was a new technology in Malaysia. All I thought about was the big risk that the company is taking. Whether the company has the know-how to execute such revolutionary style of construction, the cost of building the factory, the big warehouse storage space for the prefabricated concrete slab, transportation costs, and the fact that you can't drill holes on those walls. Would people even want to buy this kind of house? In the end, I allowed my concerns to overshadow the groundbreaking potential of this technology. I failed to grasp the remarkable growth opportunities it presented.
And then that happens.
What is that?
One of my biggest regrets not investing in that stock. You see, being able to build houses like assembling Lego blocks speed up construction time, and that means the company was able to save more costs and more money. Today, looking back, I missed the chance to see how this innovation was shaping the future of the property and construction industry. So, growth is the engine that will drive stocks to higher valuation. When a listed company finds the magic formula to double their business, their earnings tend to grow. And from my previous video, you know as earnings increase, the PE ratio will come down, making the stock look attractive. When more people recognize this potential, it can lead to increased demand for the stock. With that in mind, the metric that I'm going to talk about today has a lot to do with growth as the key measure to analyze stocks. The cool thing about this metric is that it solves a little problem with the good old PE ratio. You see, PE ratio is handy, but it's usually limited to analyzing certain types of industries. It also cannot explain why sometimes stocks with high PE ratio continue to go up in share price and stock with low PE ratio forever stays the same. Now, this new metric is like a buddy to the PE ratio. We call it the PEG ratio. It's easy to use, no need to memorize crazy formulas. Simple math, just divide the PE ratio by the expected growth rate of the stock you are analyzing. How do we use it? Sometimes we see two stocks operating in the same industry, and one of them, the share price keeps going up regardless of its expensive PE ratio, while the other one, the trading activity is as quiet as the Dead Sea. Remember in my previous video, I said stocks are cheap for a reason? The opposite is also true. Sometimes stocks are expensive for a reason as well. The reason is probably the same: growth. Essentially, when investors picked up the nuances from a stock's important announcement, for example, the revolutionary Lego bricks method to build houses, they envisioned the company to be able to make more money in the future. And before this catalyst becomes a reality, they invest in the stock today, resulting in the share price and the PE ratio to go higher.
Didn't I say that?
Yes, you
Didn't I say it?
Yes, you did. You did.
Shut up.
You did.
And as you realize this is going on, you begin to panic and FOMO and start to think if you should buy the stock now. To help you with that, What you can do is to then compare the PE ratio against the potential growth of the stock to find out what the market is paying for every percentage of growth. Let me give you an example. Suppose the property company with the new construction method is trading at a 20 times PE ratio, while another company's stock is trading at around 10 times. At one glance, 20 times definitely looks expensive. But because it now has the new capability to build houses quicker, more efficiently, and therefore be able to launch new projects faster than anyone else, it is expected to make 50% more profit than before. On the other hand, the other company historically grows 5% per annum and will continue to grow at that pace. By calculating the PEG ratio for both companies, we know that this company is trading at a PEG of 0.4, while this one is trading at 2. What this means is that for every percentage of growth, investors are paying less for the developer with new technology, and therefore it gives more value and potential to make more money. Generally speaking, when the PEG ratio is more than 1, it means that investors are paying more than they should for the pace that the company is growing. And when the PEG ratio is less than 1, that's probably a bargain. The beauty of the PEG ratio is that unlike the PE ratio, where you can only use it to compare businesses that have very clear forecasted earnings, every company is striving for growth. Technically speaking, you can use the PEG ratio to evaluate all your stocks in your portfolio and see which one of them you're paying more than you should. Now that you know how to use the PEG ratio to enhance your skills to make more money, there's still one problem to address. How do we spot growth? After all, the ability to identify potential growth catalysts in a company is what sets you apart from other investors. Here are the 3 things you need to know. First, you need to find a competitive advantage that a stock has over its competitors. A competitive advantage is like a secret weapon that consistently keeps rivals behind the curve. Just like the developer that found a new way to build houses, it allows the business to stay ahead of the competition and grab as many home buyers as possible before they go and explore other projects. Secondly, you need to keep an eye on industry trends, and that means reading a lot of news. Industries evolve, and those that adapt and innovate tend to stand out and experience substantial growth. Today, everyone is talking about EV cars. Knowing this trend, it's easy to filter out car makers that are stubbornly still sticking to producing conventional vehicles. And from there, you can start to look for companies that are able to shift consumers' preferences with their outstanding technology advancement. Those could be your 10 times return stock ideas. And finally, the power of company announcements. Seriously, treat the Bursa website like your Bible for stocks. That's where all the listed companies will publish their company announcements. Pay close attention to what companies are saying there. Things like earnings reports, press releases, and stuff like that. They often drop hints about their growth strategies, whether they are expanding into new markets, launching new innovative products, or forming strategic partnerships. These are all potential growth catalysts for you to look out for. Hopefully this video helps you to understand better how to use the PEG ratio valuation method to make your investment explode and make more money. If you like this video and wish to know more ways to make your stock analysis more effective, give me a rocket emoji this time in the comments. Your feedback keeps this channel alive, and hope to see you again in my next video.